Good morning, partner. Today we are going to solve exercise 3.5 from the Sadiku book Fundamentals of Electrical Circuits. The exercise asks me to determine the voltage V sub 0 that is previously marked here on this resistor. What I first advise you to do with this type of exercise is to redraw it to understand it better. Many times the student tends to get confused with the location of the tensions, but if we observe the tension and resistance are in series, I can place it however I want and that will help me affect the analysis of the circuit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to redraw it this way. I'm going to stop here. I'm going to place it here. And I'm going to pre-draw the resistor. And I'm going to draw the first voltage source here, like this. This resistance is 2K kilometers and this is the voltage of 30 volts. The only thing I did was change the position of the voltage and the source. Some suddenly thought that no, it's not very confusing, but it's bad. When we do another type of dose, they will realize that the mere fact of redrawing the circuit again can make the analysis a lot easier, right? So I'm going to place the 5K kilo resistance here and end up with the 20 volt voltage source. And finally here it comes, the resistance is 4 and here attention to me sub 0. Well, I just went back to drawing. Now, with that drawing that I just made, the analysis will be easier. I know that the return 0 has this polarity, therefore it is the same as the return 0 being here. And everything is connected to ground. Now, the polarity of Besicero may be giving me information about where the current flows. If you see a chariton, I assume that polarity is because a current enters here that I am going to give a name to right now. The current comes from here, therefore, at this point the current has to enter. This is where the current that enters the 4 kilo ohm resistor comes, polarizing it in this way. So, doing the visual analysis, except that the voltage of 30 volts has this polarity more up and less down, therefore, I say that Yaris current is the meaning, right? Same as here in this part. So, these two currents enter this common node and from here they flow towards here. I'm going to call this current I1, and this one here, current I2, and this would be current I3. Well, now, the current Kirchhoff law says that everything that goes into you has to be equal to what comes out. I'm saying that current I1 plus current I2 is going to equal current I3, right? Current 1 and current 2 enter here and from here, yes, because current 1 continues along this same path, I1, and is found at this point and from this point the I3 is released, then the current I1 as the voltage is 30 volts greater than the voltage V sub 0 in the direction of the current. I say that the I1 is 30 and the V sub 0 over 2 kilo ohms. This is for voltage over resistance is equal to current, plus the current and 2 would be 20 volts minus P sub 0 over 5K. And all this is going to be equal to 33, the 43 of 0 weight over 4 kilometers. Okay, now I'm going to match this. For the moment I don't need the schematic ready, I have it here. So, I'm just going to do algebra. This is already algebra. The ebook that 30 over 2 kilo ohms minus B sub 0 over 2 kilo ohms plus 20 over 5 kilo ohms in the weight 0, 5 kilo ohms equals sometimes 0 over 4 kilometer. I go back and play. I have to leave on one side of the equal all those that have B sub 0 and on the other the constants, and then I am going to pass this to the other side just like this. I'm going to have to go to sub 0. Four kilo ohms plus the V sub 0 over 2 kilo ohms. I'm just passing this to the other side with a positive sign. Tuesday at 0, 5 kilo ohms equals 30 over the kilo ohms kilong is plus 20 just 25 kilong. That's okay. 30, good. Now, if I add this, a quarter plus a half plus a fifth, it's going to give me 19 over 20 kilometers, p. B sub 0 equal 2. This plus this, the age 19 over a kilo. Okay, so B sub 0 here with the k leaves, the 20 steps to be multiplied here by 19, and the 19 are going to be raised by 19 conditional on 1. But here I have to see 0 is going to be equal to 20 volts. That's what Alexis asks me from behind. Voltage here in the 104 kilometers. Well guys, see you in the next video.